Hi everyone, welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie and today we are on day 131. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm so glad that you're here today and I hope your day is going great. We are going to be reading out of Numbers chapter 21, Isaiah chapter 16, Matthew chapter 8, and then we're going to close out the day with Psalm chapter 80, but only verses 1 through 11. So let's get started with Numbers chapter 21. The Canaanite, the king of Arad, who lived in the south, heard that Israel came by the way of Atharim. He fought against Israel and took some of them captive. Israel vowed a vow to Yahweh and said, "If you will indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities." Yahweh listened to the voice of Israel and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities. The name of the place was called Hormah. They traveled from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to go around the land of Edom. The soul of the people was very discouraged because of the journey. The people spoke against God and against Moses. "Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, there is no water, and our soul loathes this disgusting food." Yahweh sent venomous snakes among the people, and they bit the people. Many people of Israel died. The people came to Moses and said, "We have sinned because we have spoken against Yahweh and against you. Pray to Yahweh that he take away the serpents from us." Moses prayed for the people. Yahweh said to Moses, "Make a venomous snake and set it on a pole. It shall happen that everyone who is bitten, when he sees it, shall live." Moses made a serpent of bronze and set it on the pole. If a serpent had bitten any man, when he looked at the serpent of bronze, he lived. The children of Israel traveled and encamped in Oboth. They traveled from Oboth and encamped at Ayabarim, in the wilderness, which is before Moab, toward the sunrise. From there they traveled and encamped in the valley of Zered. From there they traveled and encamped on the other side of the Arnon, which is in the wilderness that comes out of the border of the Amorites. For the Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Therefore, it is said in the book of the wars of Yahweh, Veheb in Supah, the valleys of the Arnon, the slope of the valleys that incline toward the dwelling of Ar, leans on the border of Moab. From there they traveled to Beer. That is the well of which Yahweh said to Moses, "Gather the people together, and I will give them water." Then Israel sang this song: "Spring up well, sing to it, the well which the princes dug, which the nobles of the people dug, with the scepter and with their poles." From the wilderness they traveled to Mattanah, and from Mattanah to Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Bamoth, and from Bamoth to the valley that is in the field of Moab, to the top of Pisgah, which looks down on the desert. Israel sent messengers to Sihon, the king of the Amorites, saying, "Let me pass through your land. We will not turn away into the field or vineyard. We will not drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway until we have passed your border." Sihon would not allow Israel to pass through his border, But Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness and came to Jahaz. He fought against Israel. Israel struck him with the edge of the sword and possessed his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, even to the children of Ammon, for the border of the children of Ammon was fortified. Israel took all these cities. Israel lived in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and in all its villages. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and taken all his land out of his hand, even to the Arnon. Therefore, those who speak in Proverbs say, "Come to Heshbon, let the city of Sihon be built and established, for a fire has gone out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It has devoured Ar of Moab, the lords of the high places of the Arnon. Woe to you, Moab! You are undone, people of Chemosh. He has given his sons as fugitives and his daughters into captivity. To Sihon, king of the Amorites, we have shot at them. Heshbon has perished, even to Dibon. We have laid waste even to Nophah, which reaches to Medeba." Thus Israel lived in the land of the Amorites. Moses sent to spy out Jazer. They took its villages and drove out the Amorites who were there. They turned and went up by the way of Bashan. Og, the king of Bashan, went out against them, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. How about Edrei? Yahweh said to Moses, "Don't fear him, for I have delivered him into your hand with all his people and his land. You shall do to him as you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, who lived at Heshbon." So they struck him with his sons and all his people until there were no survivors, and they possessed his land. The battles of Israel. All right, Isaiah chapter 16. Oh, my tongue is all tied up in knots. Isaiah chapter 16. Send the lambs for the ruler of the land from Selah to the wilderness, to the mountain of the daughter of Zion. For it will be that as wandering birds, as a scattered nest, so will the daughters of Moab be in the fords of the Arnon. Give counsel, execute justice. Make your shade like the night in the middle of the noonday. Hide the outcasts. Don't betray the fugitive. Let my outcasts dwell with you. As for Moab, be a hiding place for him from the face of the destroyer. For the extortionist is brought to nothing. Destruction ceases. The oppressors are consumed out of the land. A throne will be established in loving kindness. One will sit on it in truth. In the tent of David, judging, seeking justice, and swift to do righteousness. We have heard of the pride of Moab, that he is very proud, even of his arrogance, his pride, and his wrath. His boastings are nothing. Therefore, Moab will wail for Moab. Everyone will wail. You will mourn for the raisin cakes of Ker Hareseth, utterly stricken. For the fields of Heshbon languish with the vine of Sibmah. The lords of the nations have broken down its choice branches, which reached even to Jazer, which wandered into the wilderness. Its shoots were spread abroad. They passed over the sea. Therefore I will weep with the weeping of Jazer for the vine of Sibmah. I will water you with my tears, Heshbon and Elelah. For on your summer fruits and on your harvests the battle shout has fallen. Gladness is taken away, and joy out of the fruitful field, and in the vineyards there will be no singing, neither joyful noise. Nobody will tread out wine in the presses. I have made the shouting stop. Therefore, my heart sounds like a harp for Moab, and my inward parts for Ker-Heres. It will happen that when Moab presents himself, when he wearies himself on the high place and comes to his sanctuary to pray, that he will not prevail. This is the word that Yahweh spoke concerning Moab in time past. But now Yahweh has spoken, saying, within 3 years, as a worker bound by contract would count them, the glory of Moab shall be brought into contempt with all his great multitude, and the remnant will be very small and feeble. Wow. That is very cool how Numbers and Isaiah are just in tandem there. So Matthew chapter 8. When Jesus came down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. Behold, a leper came to him and worshipped him, saying, Lord, if you want to, you can make me clean. Jesus stretched out his hand and touched him, saying, I want to. Be made clean. Immediately his leprosy was cleansed. Jesus said to him, see that you tell nobody, but go, show yourself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded as a testimony to them. When he came into Capernaum, a centurion came to him, asking him for help, saying, Lord, my servant lies in the house paralyzed, grievously tormented. Jesus said to him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered, Lord, I am not worthy for you to come under my roof. Just say the word, and my servant will be healed. For I am also a man under authority, having under myself soldiers. I tell this one, go, and he goes. And I tell another, come, and he comes. And tell my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to those who followed, most certainly I tell you, I haven't found so great a faith, not even in Israel. I tell you that many will come from the east and the west, and will sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the children of the kingdom will be thrown out into utter darkness. There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Jesus said to the centurion, go your way, let it be done for you as you have believed. His servant was healed in that hour. When Jesus came into Peter's house, he saw his wife's mother lying sick with a fever. He touched her hand, and the fever left her. So she got up and served him. When evening came, they brought to him many possessed with demons. He cast out the spirits with a sword and healed all who were sick, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken through Isaiah the prophet, saying, He took our infirmities and bore our diseases. Now when Jesus saw great multitudes around him, he gave the order to depart to the other side. A scribe came and said to him, Teacher, I will follow you wherever you go. And Jesus said to him, The foxes have holes, and the birds of the sky have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." Another of his disciples said to him, "Lord, allow me first to go and bury my father." But Jesus said to him, "Follow me, and leave the dead to bury their own dead." When he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. Behold, a violent storm came up on the sea, so much that the boat was covered with the waves, but he was asleep. The disciples came to him and woke him up, saying, "Save us, Lord, we are dying." He said to them, "Why are you fearful, O you of little faith?" Then he got up, rebuked the wind and the sea, and there was a great calm. The men marveled, saying, "What kind of man is this, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" When he came to the other side, into the country of the Gergesenes, 2 people possessed by demons met him there, coming out of the tombs exceedingly fierce, so that nobody could pass that way. Behold, they cried out, saying, "What do we have to do with you, Jesus, Son of God? Have you come here to torment us before the time?" Now there was a herd of many pigs feeding far away from them. The demons begged him, saying, "If you cast us out, permit us to go away into the herd of pigs." He said to them, "Go." They came out and went into the herd of pigs, and behold, the whole herd of pigs rushed down the cliff into the sea and died in the water. Those who fed them fled and went away into the city and told everything, including what happened to those who were possessed by the demons. Behold, all the city came out to meet Jesus, and when they saw him, they begged that he would depart from their borders. It was just a little too much for them. And I would think, before I pass judgment, they're casting Jesus out of their borders? Let's try and put ourselves in real time. And, knowing the law of Moses, you're knowing the scribes and knowing, the Pharisees and Sadducees, and you have all these laws, and then you've got the Romans, and then all of a sudden, here comes this man who is healing people and casting out demons into pigs. And let's not forget, the demons were talking to Jesus. So, if I would consider myself in real time, it might just be a little overwhelming, and I would probably say, you got to leave our border. It would be terrifying. There's always 2 sides to every story. But it is amazing that the demons talked to him. The demons knew who he was. That's amazing. So Psalm chapter 80, verses 1 through 11. Let's close out this day. Oh. This is for the chief musician, to the tune of "The Lilies of the Covenant," a psalm by Asaph. Hear us, shepherd of Israel, you who lead Joseph like a flock. You who sit above the cherubim, shine out. Before Ephraim, Benjamin, and Manasseh, stir up your might. Come to save us. Turn us again, God, cause your face to shine, and we will be saved. Yahweh, God of armies, how long will you be angry against the prayer of your people? You have fed them with the bread of tears, and given them tears to drink in large measure. You make us a source of contention to our neighbors. Our enemies laugh among themselves. Turn us again, God of armies. Cause your face to shine, and we will be saved. You brought a vine out of Egypt. You drove out the nations and planted it. You cleared the ground for it. It took deep root and filled the land. The mountains were covered with its shadows. Its boughs were like God's cedars. It sent out its branches to the sea, its shoots to the river. And we will finish that tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming on by today. I sure hope you're having a fantastic day today. Please come back for tomorrow, which will be day 132. And I will see you then. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.